everyone, this is Mary Alice Hudson. Thank you for sharing information about your fields and your thoughts about applied learning. I enjoyed all of your videos and appreciated all of your ideas and insights. I've been struggling with the definition of applied learning, so I was glad to hear Levy's reference to UC San Diego's definition as the integration of classroom learning with real-world situations. Levy's point that shadowing alone and classroom learning alone are insufficient to train law enforcement officers is a perfect illustration. It's the intersection of these two through which officers learn how to perform their jobs. I googled UC San Diego's definition to find the specifics and found their examples of ways they offer student participation in applied learning to be the following: entrepreneurship and social innovation, international, internship, leadership, research, service learning, and tutoring. As a group, we mentioned some but not all of these. In my own readings, I have found information about international experiences, internships, research, and service learning, but not entrepreneurship and social innovation, leadership, or tutoring. This leads me to believe there's more to explore and think about in terms of applied learning opportunities for students. UC San Diego also listed the benefits of participation in applied learning. The website says the following: participation in applied learning opportunities can help you translate classroom knowledge to real-world situations, develop a deeper understanding of course materials, gain real-world skills that are valued by potential employers and graduate programs, explore career pathways, and build a network. I thought this list was very interesting because one of the things that stood out to me in our videos was the way each of us described the purpose of applied learning in our field. And I was impressed with us because our videos included all of the benefits mentioned by UC San Diego. Tara even mentioned networking, which I hadn't thought of, but now that it's been pointed out to me, I would definitely agree it is a valuable outcome of participation in applied learning. The only thing we mentioned that was not on the list was personal development. Time management and cultural awareness were two areas of personal development I recall being mentioned by Jonna. Despite its omission from UC San Diego's list, I believe this is another valuable outcome that spans all of our fields. The mention of scaffolding was another thing that stood out to me in the videos. Whole group, individual, or just-in-time scaffolding is what makes learning, whether it's applied or otherwise, accessible to students. Student background knowledge varies widely. Scaffolding learning helps level the playing field for students. That's one of the reasons student-centered learning is so wonderful. Not everyone needs the same thing at the same time, and the teacher is available to work with those in need when they need it. While Bob didn't specifically mention scaffolding exactly, he did mention guiding discovery during problem-based learning scenarios, which is pretty much the same thing. So while he said his learners might have insufficient domain knowledge for some of the problem-based learning scenarios they encounter, with scaffolding, they can be given the information they need when they need it. In my experience, this makes the new knowledge relevant and valuable and helps learners retain it for future use. Levy also mentioned scaffolding through mentoring programs in which mentors provide guidance and correction based on the needs of the junior officer. Her additional example of officers earning day wings and then night wings is a real-world example of scaffolding. I believe scaffolding is a very powerful learning tool that is well suited to applied learning as it provides the learner with the needed knowledge when it is needed. Interesting, and along the same line, Brittany mentioned an article which said students said they would have liked more guidance during their applied learning activities. My feeling is that this is a result of student lack of experience with student-centered learning. The K-12 education system has long created a right or wrong mindset rather than an eagerness to explore, try, fail, and repeat. It's hard to watch students struggle, but learning to deal with frustration and failure, persisting, and becoming self-reliant are important learning and life skills. In the last few years, I've witnessed a lot of change in the way a lot of work to change this way of teaching and thinking. But change is a process and it takes time. I do, however, believe we are on the right track and future K-12 graduates will have a more problem-solving orientation and self-directed learning mindset, both of which will serve them well as future learners and leaders. And one final thing, I think everyone alluded to this, but Jonna directly mentioned the use of student-centered methods that work well when real-world applied learning experiences aren't available to students. She mentioned the use of problem-based learning, collaboration, and flipped classrooms in lieu of undergraduate research. Teaching in a K-12 environment, I'm well aware of times when we can't do the real thing due to safety, money, time, or other factors. But that doesn't stop us from applying our learning. I can create experiences that allow students to experiment with bridge building without rebar and cement. I'm sure the same is true in the military and chemistry, where undoubtedly many experiences can only be simulated. In these cases and across all of our fields, the goal is to provide opportunities for students to meld their theoretical knowledge with real-world experiences, resulting in powerful and lasting learning. Thank you for listening.